he's doing well in terms of the power struggle within the leadership. Because as we know, last year in 2016, in the first half of the year, there were many signs of resistance, as it were, to his attempt to concentrate power and enhance his authority. Like it was in January that he tried to make people call him the core of the central leadership. And in fact, in January and February, 2/3 of the local leaders used that phrase. But then the movement was frustrated. 1/3 of the local leaders did not use that phrase, and the movement stopped. So this was a big damage. This caused a big damage to the authority of Xi Jinping. And in early March, even an open letter addressed to Comrade Xi Jinping asking him for resignation, that showed in the official website of one of the Chinese provinces. And his authority was challenged and resistance was visible, as it were. But in the latter half of the year, somehow all these movements went subsurface. And at the plenum of the Central Committee in October, he successfully established his position as the core of the central leadership. And I've been told that the leverage that he had was, of course, the anti-corruption campaign. So whoever resisted his attempt to concentrate power and enhance authority were accused of being corrupt. And this had been very effective in consolidating his power base as of last October. But common sense in understanding Chinese politics has it that this is not the end of the game. So whoever wants to resist his authority will certainly put up a fight. And that's most likely what's going on subsurface at the moment. The economic reforms is a very uphill tussle, Xi Jinping understands this himself because in his words, the easier part of the reforms are already done. And now it's the very hard bone part that is left over. So what he calls the supply side reforms is not easy to implement because it entails unemployment, less fiscal revenue for certain local governments and so on and so forth. And if the economic downturn continues and if there's more social instability, of course this could bring about difficulties in the political leadership of Xi. There are two possibilities. At the moment, the fear of social instability is actually urging the leadership to take a conciliatory attitude towards international conflicts. It's very clear now that they don't want any linkage between external conflicts and internal disturbance. So if there is a territorial clash, that means that it could easily instigate the emotions of the nationalistic citizens now. So they don't want any external issues to become big at the moment. So that's very positive from our point of view. But the story goes that even the Chinese worry that if social instability becomes more prominent, then there could be temptation for Xi Jinping to resort to whipping up nationalistic sentiments, have issues with the outside world, so that nationalism will be a rallying point to unite the nation, unite the party.
Yeah.
There are different views about AIIB in Japan. And I personally had the view from the beginning that Japan should join the AIIB, but I had been of the minority. But things could change in the future, views could change in the future, and maybe one day Japan will join the AIIB because the way AIIB has been developing is very positive in the sense that they abide by the international standards, because the Chinese are very pragmatic. They realize that if they didn't abide by international rules, then the ratings would be very low and the cost of funding would be very expensive, and therefore they have been very, trying very hard to employ people who have rich experiences in the IMF and the World Bank and so on and so forth. And the projects that have been announced, most of them are co-funding projects with the ADB, the Asia Development Bank or the World Bank. And the Japanese president of the ADB, Mr. Nakao, has been very cooperative and very friendly towards Mr. Jin Liu-chun, who is the president of the AIB. I don't think we want a failure in AIB. We want AIB to succeed because if that is going to bring about development in the Asian region, we all benefit from that. So I think it's a very good learning process for the Chinese. But of course, the problem is not in international finances or economy, but in security. In the realm of security, they're not abiding by international rules.